Chapter 4. Love and Weddings. The Sheriff of Nottingham woke up next morning in a terrible mood. After yesterday's disaster, the villagers and his soldiers might not be afraid of him anymore. This would make life very difficult for him. He decided to act quickly and called his soldiers. "You cowards!" he shouted. "You should all hang for what you did yesterday. You ran away from those thieves. Now your king and your country are in great danger. Those wicked outlaws will think that nobody can stop them. You were armed and should have fought like real soldiers." He was very convincing. The soldiers really believed that it was all their fault and felt very ashamed. The sheriff was pleased to see their sad faces and ordered them to do many hours of hard training. Then he told his soldiers to go into town. "Tell the people they must pay more tax," said the sheriff. "We need more money to protect them from the outlaws in the area. If they do not pay, they will go to prison." Now that all his military problems were solved, the Sheriff of Nottingham could concentrate on his personal affairs. He thought about Robin Hood's words, "The 3 rogues sent to kill Alan Clare." Is Alan Clare dead or not? He wondered. He was not interested in his own men's fate. If Alan were dead, his problems would be over, and Sir Tristan could marry Christabel. The sheriff had high ambitions for his daughter. Sir Tristan was old and would probably die soon after the wedding. Christabel would become a rich widow and would be free to marry someone of the court, maybe even a member of the royal family. Again, the sheriff thought of Robin Hood's words, "Sent to kill Alan Clare." Alan Clare must be dead, he thought. His small black eyes shone, and his thin lips formed into a wicked smile. In another part of the castle, Sir Tristan was also thinking about the wedding. He was worried about having the ceremony in the castle chapel. He did not trust the Sheriff of Nottingham and wanted the wedding in Linton Abbey. He would feel safer there with more people around him. Therefore, he decided to go and speak to the sheriff. After listening to the old man, the sheriff said, "But, my dear Sir Tristan, I suggested the castle chapel for your own safety." "What do you mean?" asked Sir Tristan. "Well, we both know that Christabel is not happy about this wedding, so maybe Robin Hood and his band of murderers might try and save her." "I am sure that my servants will protect me," replied the old man. "Well, it is your decision. Now," continued the sheriff, "when are you going to give me my money?" "Do not worry, sir. Your precious gold is in a chest, which I will bring to you the day of the wedding." "Well, I am glad all is settled," said the sheriff, opening the door to indicate their conversation was over. At Barnesdale Hall, everybody thought Will was dead. The family, Maud and Marian, were sadly sitting together talking about Will. Suddenly, Marian heard the sound of Robin's horn in the distance. They all ran out to the courtyard. There, arriving on horseback, was Robin, Alan Clare, and Will. Will rushed to kiss Maud. Marian didn't know who to kiss first, her brother Alan or Robin. She was so happy to see her brother again, and so proud of Robin that she said, "Look, everyone, My love, my hero, Robin Hood! Please, Alan, now that you are home, give us your blessing so that we may get married." "Of course, my sister. You have my blessing. I could not think of a better man for you." "But I have no home for you, Marian," said Robin. "Don't worry. The forest will be our home, dear Robin." "Let's get married on the same day, Robin," interrupted Will. "Not to each other, of course," he added, smiling. "What a wonderful idea!" exclaimed the girls. "Why don't we get married today?" suggested Will. "I'm sorry, my friend," said Alan, "but I must return immediately to Nottingham Castle to save my Christabel. Your wedding will have to wait a little longer, I'm afraid." "Well, in that case," said Robin, "let's wait until we have solved Alan's problems. Then we can have a triple ceremony." They all thought this was a good idea, so Robin and Alan left for Nottingham Castle that same day. A few days later, a pale-faced Christabel stood looking at herself in the mirror. She was wearing a beautiful white dress, which was in stark contrast with the sadness in her eyes. Just then Sir Tristan entered the room. "My dear, I cannot begin to describe how beautiful you are," he exclaimed. "Come, it is time to go to Linton Abbey, where they are waiting to start our wedding ceremony." "Please, sir, listen to me," begged Christabel. "I do not love you. My father has given you false hopes. I cannot make you happy." Sir Tristan had no intention of losing his bride. "Do not worry. You will learn to make me happy," he replied, and led the heartbroken girl out of the room. At Linton Abbey, everything was ready for the wedding ceremony. The bishop was there with some monks, and the church was full of flowers. While they were waiting for the couple to arrive, a man appeared with a harp. "Is there a wedding here today?" the stranger asked the bishop. "Yes, but why do you ask? Are you a musician?" "The best harpist in the country," replied the stranger. "May I play for the happy couple?" "Yes, why not?" said the bishop. They all stood at the church door, and as the couple were about to enter the church, Christabel turned to her father and said, "Please, father, if you have any love for your only daughter, then stop this madness now." "Silence!" was all her father had to say. "Stop!" shouted a loud voice. "Who was that?" asked the sheriff. The musician took off his cloak and sounded his horn 3 times. "Oh no, not Robin Hood again!" cried the sheriff. "Yes, with my merry men," said Robin, pointing to the group of men now surrounding them. Then an elegant knight appeared next to Christabel, and taking her hand, he said, "My darling Christabel, will you marry me?" "Oh, Alan, Alan!" exclaimed Christabel, recognizing him immediately. "Yes, yes, of course I will." The sheriff was furious, but could do nothing. The bishop ran away, so the monk who had helped Robin save Will did the wedding ceremony. Then the Gamwells arrived with Maud and Marian. "2 more happy couples to be married," shouted Little John, as William and Robin led their loved ones to the altar. So that day, 3 happy couples left the church, while Sir Tristan and the sheriff walked angrily back to the castle.